Fixed it, don't worry.
Okay.
I call this meeting to order. Croswell Water Sewer Utility Board. Tommy, you will lead us in prayer. Her bag again.
Fairly God, back at this time, you do your business, Lord, we pray that you give us wisdom above and beyond our abilities. Lord, just help everything that we do to be pleasing to you. Your precious and powerful name, we pray in Jesus. Amen.
Everyone instead of pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Freedom of republic, which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You have stated. Our roll call, we have a call that Mr. White will not be in tonight. We have form in your packet. We have our approval for May 2023 meeting minutes. Tommy, has anything been changed since you sent the packet out in the minutes?
I did a cybersecurity policy that's got to be, we were working on it. Our attorney has had one that he done for someone else, Mr. Mike Wall, and he sent this over, fixed it, modeled there for us. It's, you got to have one in place, January, July 1st, and then if you don't, you offer this, and we can have it done tonight. July 1st. That's all I think that's changed.
But not in the minutes from last month. Correct.
But it's not in the minutes, we're not, okay.
I move to approve.
Okay.
And a first and a second on our minutes. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Harper has the first, Mayor McCall has the second. Motion carries. Next order of business is our approval for May 2023 financial report. That as well is in your packet. Has anything changed from the financial report that you emailed us? Okay, so it is the same report.
Move to approve.
A second. Ms. Harper for a first. Have Ms. Stafford for a second. All in favor, say aye, please. Any opposed? Motion carries. Our next order of business is our water loss report for May 2023.
I didn't have time, we just making this short, I had the guy get the data till today to report.
So we'll push this off until next month's meeting.
It'll be our report about this month and next month.
Thank you. All right, the next order of business is the engineering report from Mr. Evan White with Mid-10 Engineering.
ARP, we're going back and forth still with them. The projects, they knocked out all the things that we, Snake Hollow, water plant, and water plant things, all that, things they read out. We're taking funds from the rest of the counties and move them over to the sewer project, for the regular tank.
Did you say, water tank 2 and water tank 3?
1 and 2.
1 and 2, 1 and 2.
Snake Hollow is the only eligible tanks for labor machines and stuff now. The funds that wasn't going elsewhere and moving on.
Thank you.
That's all I got, says what's in the general manager's report.
Okay, and at some time, do you mind sending though, what sewer projects you think are going to be associated with that for email to us?
It's just a rehab on that.
It's just the rehab.
The project that's being paid for is the flow meter, flow meter. We'll actually pay flow meter readings to the system and then we'll determine what the rehab project is.
So basically you're designating it to sewer projects, but they're not associate, they're not, those are not labeled yet.
Replacing old lines, the worst ones. We just got quantities in there right now for $1 figure for the.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. White? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Our next order of business is our general manager report.
This is the item that has, the meeting that will already. He got Rainbow, River Bridge project. We put a project in to run a water line all the way. Out of 141 South, all the way over to, Starling. Which regarding the ARP project, it's running, I think it's new line up to reach that spot too, which you have all new lines. And this is mostly gonna be on that new roadway, the new highway. Part of that goes with the bridge. The 1.1 million here represented that project, which is about 9,939 feet. We didn't know, I didn't know that they expected this money to be paid. Be honest with you, I didn't know it had to go this way it's going. We don't even know, to be honest with you, we don't even know what it is. Don't let everything we talk about is, one day if we decide to do the line, we get more over the river, but can't get a price on that, but instead just the bore alone is 1.6 million. So this is probably the cheaper project. Depending on what those bids come out to be, we don't know.
Right now, the state takes our cost estimate and theirs, their in-house stuff. And they come up with 1.1 million, so they want to deposit into their account before the project lets in August.
It's in all.
Lets in August, so then you actually get a bid in August to know what the contractor actually bids for this project. So then Tommy's been trying since they put a short notice on us. Do y'all have an opportunity to deny or not proceed with the project if they come in out of need? The way we're seeing some ability from the price of it, so we wanted to, but it's not affecting the project. So the stuff that has to be run in the project is paid for by TDOT. So that's going to happen no matter what. It's just the 8-inch line going from month over to miles. The cheapest time to do the project really is according to Aaron Construction, that's all it is in the contract. But if they want to get the plans to them and we didn't, then like, you can give them about, within 2 weeks, 2 weeks, maybe to get this, 1.1 million to them, so.
We've had a lot of surprises.
This is abnormal, because this isn't normal for the TDOT that I work with, the department I work with. You normally have to have the funds and they,
Years now, so.
they're still-
They gotta get it, be about,
All they gotta get these months, it might go on. I think it's the problem.
I know a lot of times TDOT will require you have the money on hand and be prepared to pay do the payouts. But I'm not ever been accustomed to them asking for it so quickly.
The seventh.
The 7th. I guess that's why the date is for this meeting.
That's why
And
we have to see what y'all do.
thank you all for being so accommodating and being able to.
we feel like trying to deny it.
We're still feeling. We didn't get no calls today. I called a bunch of few messages. Nobody called back. To ask these questions too, we're trying to figure that out. Because you got the utility division side, you got the construction side of this.
Anybody have any questions,
Yeah.
comments?
As a case scenario, we let us do, if they would just let it pay for stuff under the bridge, the casing, back in town, to do this. That's would be the best, it won't be, I hope it would be the whole time. But that would be the best thing, then to get our money back, we didn't decide to go, what money we didn't spend on the casing that built on the bridge. The reason for that was because we only have one, we have one across this bridge right now, 6-inch line. And this would put you another redundant line over there, and we'll probably experience a lot of growth for the future. And they'll be off another tank also, so you're not dependent on, you'll have two different sources here that are separated in our system. So you have a redundant line that we don't have. This would, in my mind, would be the easiest to maintain and better to do it now. Like I said, we did, I didn't realize this.
We knew that the money was gonna be required at some time, we just didn't know that it would have to be. this
You got,
quick.
y'all got about $2 million in your,
Money market account.
one of them being go to the tank up here, we got to do it. I mean, that's what that money is for, what we got in the bank, it's your problem. We think spend it on other things. You know, it's a. I mean, if we can get, no, if y'all okay with it, if by the 7th, we find out before we pay this, that we can get our money back. If that could be approved, if that's all right, y'all, that's okay. I don't know if we can get that answer, if not, that's whatever y'all think is best. That's gonna be an area that's gonna grow, second grow, sure, it's gonna grow. It'll be one of the roads that you might make your best, someone back on. You can, it'll grow out.
Anyone have any questions or concerns about the water line project deposit? Do we need motion made on this? We already had discussed that this was happening.
We've been working this a long time.
Right.
Yeah, we've been doing it, and I think this was all popped up on us right near the end of the year.
But for such a task of monetary means, do we need to make a motion at this time for you to proceed forward?
I can't without it. We can't proceed without it. Y'all are the ones that can spend your money. I would say it comes back and that's. So if you pay the number of payments, I'll do that.
The letters at the very end of the.
It's in the background. Yeah, the letter is-
If you want to look at it. It's right before that siren policy.
Mhm.
I do have a question. Do we have to wait on the bids?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, and
Before we
all.
can.
So you're basically putting this money there, so you know that
Committee.
you're committed to the project, but once the bids come in, they're either gonna give you money back, or you gotta give them more to accept the project.
So what we're making a motion on tonight is,
Deposit.
okay, deposit, and it may be more or less. This is just an estimate. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Money market again.
That we have 2 million in, is that correct?
Yes,
Just-
sir.
And we have the CDs in the bank also, I get very good reports around.
So we have a first on the floor, Mayor McCall. We have a second. on the floor, I mean. Any questions? You can speak now.
I was just gonna second the motion that we're.
Oh, okay, thank you. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
You also have 1.6 million in CDs.
So after we left our last meeting, I had discussed with Tommy about the board bringing in a third-party organization to see about having the department audited by, on an outside audit. And Mr. Michael Cornell was recommended to us, and he was Markham LLP Accountants and Advisor. So you want to take over from here, what discussions you've had with him?
Well, what I've done so far, we had talked and that, he come tonight to ask you all questions, where y'all have to do. What we know, I tell him all the financial information that I had, the 20 years study, and sent that to him, the uncertain budget study, the status numbers in it for projects and stuff like that. I really want to make sure what y'all want to do. I told him, my thoughts was looking at future rates was one of the reasons we was going to look at it, how we want to pay for these projects. We can talk a little bit about the big project that's out there, but we don't have to install it. No, really, we know what our match is, and we're still plugging along, trying to figure that 178 million that the government gave us to regional concept. We're hoping to have some meetings here, the group sometimes. I had a question, me and Ed was talking, and I'm in the mayor talk too, about, there's ARPA funds are open right now, but Evan, we're going to ask that question as soon as I get somebody on the phone about that, about the timing of that, make kids where it work out. But there's regional money in this set of ARPA funds coming out, it's for region projects, regional type projects. And we might, if they let it carry over more time, it might be one of the supplies for an application to help pay that 25%. Through the ARPA funds, through these competitive bids. Maybe sign or.
You guys paying working on that thing, and so we got him with that thing.
Mr. Ray, yeah, we talked about it. Yeah, he's gonna help get together. We're gonna figure this out. I've got a letter ready. I'm gonna help with it too. But I'm gonna send out an email to all the contacts and let him know he's gonna help, tell him what we're doing. But if I'd like to get an answer from the ARPA to TJ to see if that's even possible. But we do need to start thinking more of this. Along the way, if we don't get our heads together, and if it's, we may have, maybe a year for it, even, that he'll take it. Roads, he may have to wait till next year to appropriate his money. My understanding, the Corps can put it in their budget, Corps engineers. I think if we have a plan, that'll be better, they might pick it up. The big deal is get started.
Yeah.
It's the big thing, once we get it started, I think they see no problem moving forward and getting stuff done. But we gotta get our name in the hat. Your name in the hat.
How far back in the financials did you forward?
I given this year's audit. that
Okay.
Comptroller did. Given the 20-year growth study we did, given the unserved roads or feasibility study, we called it on roads and traffic county. With some of those projects, going to be involved in a big $178 million. This development. And I can still send you more stuff, and whatever he needs.
For now. Okay. We introduce you to the group.
I'm Michael, thanks for having me here, that I'm Mark. Something said, got in my hand, because printouts and things, we talked briefly about, this meeting and kind of, various projects, situations that got going on. I apologize because I didn't come thinking, audit or anything of that nature, I was just kind of entering some situation and everything, trying to determine what exactly you guys needed, from us, and, worked in the past with, us, and, I have, experienced with one of the years, obviously, the past, probably private. So that's something I would be taking out with, that's, so, there's also the full audit, there are a series of upon procedures and things of that nature that it's got, that would kind of suit the needs without getting into the need for pension and things like that. We do, I personally don't do a whole lot of them with Markham, but we have a group that does some governmental audits, or they do, full counties and things like that, so we're going to go that way. And we're gonna, work on a lot of the constitution. So, great study of that nature.
Okay. Would you like to share with us the information resources that you brought? Is that for all of us to take back with us? Or no, or is that or that's what you found? So,
This is everything I want to share about.
oh, okay.
This is the annual report of the county, year ended June 30, 22, and it's, publicly available out there on Tennessee Comptroller website. Let's see here, all of that in the 20-year master plan, that was provided as of July 2. I have the feasibility study, for, November 21 regarding Net from this evening, which include current financial statements, or it would be attendance. Which included the financial statements. I believe that's everything that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. We were a lot of information included. Definitely guys, move forward with that, but, from a national perspective,
And in the terms that I recommended, I would recommend an audit. It's really to make sure that we're covering the cost of doing business for the water department, because we've not always been, and sewer department, because we've not always been eligible to lean on these grants that are just now being advertised as accessible, which doesn't mean that we necessarily get them either. So we want to make sure that if there is a rate change, that it's not something that's aggressive without means or justification. So that's more what some of my conversation. Anybody else?
I think the fact that the rate looked like the rate increase is going to have to be every year, what we were looking at last month. So it's kind of scary that is this projection really what it is?
I understand, and honestly, we're looking through the feasibility of the master plan, I understand your fears there. That's why I also wish to say that. Because a lot of it, you might very well be aware, is the ultimate goal of an audit is to say whether the financial statements themselves are a material component of whatever basis, whether it's a that basis, tax basis, governmental basis. Whereas kind of idea that you're looking for is more to should be great study and verifying more of either consulting work with upon procedures, type of engagement. And even a formal rate study, we have our tax office that works in just I've never personally, I think, done rates of myself. If I do audit and consulting,
Okay. What is, what's the feeling of this body?
Like they have somebody else sitting on their shoulder,
I think so too. Yeah.
especially with the magnitude of money that we're starting to spend on these toys and projects and good stuff.
Y'all remember to get your proposal in.
Yeah, we need to do. We need to talk to him about what we want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to show up in person, that talk with these things, make sure because I know. Good audit. my friend.
Strange person, let's go.
That's tax.
Text people, like people don't get along.
But yes, I would think we would have to have a conversation about exactly what you're looking
So we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Because we kind of thrown at you all, right, since we left this meeting.
for. Yeah, because again, I mean, an audit's gonna tell, you have to pension funding and do a bunch of actuarial analysis, behind the state, in regards to the pension fund we have, and all you're gonna do is stand over it.
For Gregory, you have any thoughts on that? Because I know you have to wear a lot of hats and sit in a lot of meetings about our budget. Not to, this was something that I just felt more comfortable doing for the department. That are providing services for everybody that are out there. And the fact that we have someone else that's bringing these numbers together. We've learned realistically, our neighbor's rate may be different from ours, but it's not compatible because of what it costs for them to get the water versus what it costs us to treat the water. So, that's one of our lessons we'll have to walk through when some of this comes in and people start asking us questions. Stafford, do you have anything?
No.
We usually have a lot of questions. Bring them forward later if you think about it, so, but we definitely think we'd like be interested in moving forward and, rate study at first.
Just talk to, once he's looked at everything, probably the right state, but let's just hear him out too. More,
Because we may need more later. There's not anything in concrete
if we
right
knew
now.
what we needed, we could ask what we wanted, but we don't.
Mhm.
Right.
Well said.
What do you like about it? Evan's laughing actually.
Keep it over there, and I want you to don't forget the public to not to do it alone.
Walked out here 2 weeks ago, it was this rate increase for the next 20 years every year, and so it was scary.
That was our 25%.
Correct. Yeah,
So what we asked,
correct.
that's the worst case. Yeah, it's quite smarter than we get.
It's weird how it, how people look at it.
Yeah, and I mean, just all the, looking at prior financial independent studies, and yes, I can definitely see the need for some. It was coming, and, you know. Probably. The inflationary environment. It builds contract requirements for the finance law, I think we talked about this, earlier. Got all the three estimate, maybe it's called. Two, order, and once they go sit about three. People, nothing that. Because the market, the world champions. And. Then that also. We don't just expect the growth problem.
Thank you. Any kind of motion you need tonight? Move forward.
Just, I think if he provides y'all proposals for what it costs to do.
Okay.
that,
We'll face it at that time. That'd be great. Much appreciated. Thank you for coming. We do have one other piece of information that as Tommy said at the beginning of the meeting, it's like a drop in, it's about the cyber security plan. And I'm sure he has some more for the general manager report. have the floor.
Yeah, this is the, well, go ahead. Now, this, we've been having this, we're supposed to have one done July 1st, and it's been trying to figure out how to make it. On the attorney, he called today, or like about a week ago, he sent a copy of one he did to somebody. And, it meets the statute that they come out with rules. And, it can be modified if necessary, but nobody knows, TAUD, nobody knows how to fix this. But he came up with this, and I thought we did something on the books, and if we have to amend it, we can. But he said it meets the criteria that the law will pass. And it's nothing in here that we probably don't already do, or we just, something to have in place, like I know all our IT stuff, the security goes through our software, you know. They monitor our system, they do our computer, cyber security stuff. This is just, I guess, Brad knows what we need to do as an office and people that work here, how to deal with, you know, how to use the internet, how can you use it, the things you're supposed to do. Not to mention you, this is kind of a basic plan, but we gotta have something out there. It's when they come, we'll say this is it, if you don't like it, we fix it. Yeah. But a lot of the people that we only look to help with this, even our software company, it's so vague, you don't know how to approach it. They didn't give you no really, you got like, it just said this, you need to have one in place. Every place is different, and the TAD couldn't help people because they don't know, every place is kind of different situation, different type of system that's, it's a different, it's hard to come up with. But this is something he's done, and he says it meets the guidelines for that. Anyway, we got something on the books, and we always need it.
I appreciate you coming in and making the initiative and steps to protect the staff and the users of the water system. And you know, I understand this is an internal policy for the department.
Yeah, to the policy makers. I like to do it the way he did the signature, but he did have all of their signatures on. Everybody, if y'all do pass it, you need your signature.
In the event that this was to be offered, this would come back to the board again.
You know, I can do
So, but this is the first step in conversation of policy and ink for this department. So. That, is there a motion to pass this cybersecurity plan, go into the? Thank you, Madam McCall. Yes, sir. Thank you, Ms. Parker, for a second.
I was at a legislative conference last week, and they talked about this, and the money would be available, but they wanted to send out a 100 questionnaire to be filled out. And to let your cybersecurity department, which we don't have, but our providers is going to have that money we get there. They will spell problems, and it gives us something in place if they come by and say they have one, we say, yeah, we've got this. It may be modifications we make.
Thank you for bringing this before us. For the first and second on the floor, anyone else have any questions, comments? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
You know, it's, matter of the key, what do you house calls? Are you my? Don't. She won't.
Oh, it's not. Okay. We have blue.
Blue?
We have blue. Have on, Kenny's got one.
Oh, he's going at it.
Yes. Oh, yes.
This time, we don't want to set that line.
Thank you. Hold on to the fan. Bring.
Mark, you back.
Thank you. Anything else you have for your manager's report, sir?
I don't, Michelle, have any questions.
I have a question, at last month's meeting, well, it's not about the manager's report, never mind. It's about, someone that was in the public bus.
Oh,
It's not on the manager's report.
Mr.
Yeah,
Chambers.
Mr. Chambers.
so we went out and.
See if that had been resolved. or if it's addressed.
Two of our employees, one's worked here over 10 years and one has worked here over 20. And they both read that meter at the same place for the last 27 years. And we told him that, I talked to him about it. He didn't like it, but, when he was going to dig up and find where the old meter was, I said, well, that's fine. He did a call dig and what he's supposed to do. I'm not heard nothing else about it. He fixed his leak. He had leak in front of the meter. His meter is on his neighbor's property. So, yeah, we don't, with what I'm here telling me, I have no reason to believe it was moved. So that's the best I could do. That's where it ended and we're not heard.
Anyone have anything else? And that would take us to public comments, and everyone was on the agenda or writing the minutes for the. So, thank you all. Board member comments?
Probably your mom comment or question should have
Oh,
done.
you're fine. No, because it was his manager report. So I will take a motion to be adjourned. First and second, and we'll be out the door. All in favor, say aye. Motion carried.